The Godfather, 1972. Welcome to Abstract Recap. Today we are going to recount the tale of the adoptive parent. Section 1. Have some good times and appreciate. Obviously there are spoilers ahead. In pre-fall 1945, visitors are assembled for the wedding party of where Vito Corleone's girl Connie, where Vito, the top of the Corleone mafia family, has known to companions and partners as guardian the and Tom Hagen, the Corleone family attorney, and blackballs taken on child are hearing solicitations for favors on the grounds that as per Italian practice no Sicilian can decline a solicitation on his little girl's big day. One of the ones who asked the where for a favor is Amerigo Bonisera, an undertaker, a colleague of the daybreak, whose girl was severely beaten by two young fellows for denying their propels. However, the men got negligible discipline where Vito was disheartened in Bonisera, who'd stayed away from most contact with the Sunrise because of Corleone's criminal dealings. Well, the where's better half is backup parent to Bonisera's girl, a relationship where Corleone utilizations to extricate new faithfulness from the funeral director, so where Vito consents to have his men rebuff the young fellows dependable in return for future assistance if fundamental. In the interim, the Ware's most youthful child, Michael, a brightened Marine legend getting back from the Second Great War administration, shows up at the wedding and tells his sweetheart Kay Adams about his loved ones, illuminating her about his dad's criminal life. However, he consoles her that he is not quite the same as his family and doesn't want to go along with them. The wedding scene fills in as a basic article until the end of the story as Michael presents the fundamental characters to Kay. Fredo, Michael's next more seasoned sibling, is a little dumb and very intoxicated when he tracks down Michael at the party. Sonny, the Ware's oldest kid and next in line to become Ware upon his dad's retirement, is hitched, yet he is a hot-tempered swinger who slips into a room to have intercourse with one of Connie's bridesmaids. Likewise, among the visitors at the festival is the popular vocalist Johnny Fontaine, Ware Vito's godson, who has come from Hollywood to request of Vito's assistance in handling a film job that will rejuvenate his hailing profession. Doc Waltz, the top of the studio, denies Fontaine the section, a person similar as Johnny himself, which will make him an
cook who made Connie's wedding cake, who wants for the man his little girl has gone gaga for. Enzo to turn into an American resident later. The wedding. Hagen is dispatched to Los Angeles to meet with Shrivels, who irately tells him that he won't ever projected Fontaine in the job. He holds resentment in light of the fact that Fontaine tempted and demolished a celebrity who Wolves had been prepping for fame. Furthermore, with whom he had a sexual relationship. Wolves is convinced to give Johnny the job, however rejects, yet he wakes up promptly the following morning. What's more, feels something wet in his bed. He pulls back the sheets. Furthermore, ends up in a pool of blood. He shouts with sickening apprehension at the point when he finds the cut-off head of his valued $600,000 stud horse. Animation in the bed with him upon Hagen's return. The family meets with Virgil the Turks Lotso, who is being supported by the adversary Tattaglia family. He asks Ware Corleone for funding as well as political and legitimate insurance for bringing in and disseminating heroin. Notwithstanding the immense benefit to be made, the Ware denies making sense of that his political impact would be endangered by a move into the opiates exchange. The adjudicators and lawmakers he's united himself with throughout a few many years would repudiate their companionships with him if he somehow managed to enter the medication exchange. Bright, who had before encouraged the family to enter the opiates exchange, breaks rank during the gathering and questions Lotso's confirmations regarding the Corleone family's speculation being insured by the Tattaglia family, where Corleone then dispatches Luca Brazzi to invade Sollozzo's association. Also, report back with the data. During the gathering, Luca Brazzi twists over to permit Bruno Tattaglia to light his cigarette. He is cut in the hand by Sollozzo. Also, is in this way insured by an professional killer. Not long after his gathering with Sollozzo, where Corleone is gunned down in an death endeavor right external his office. Furthermore, it isn't promptly known whether he has endured Fredo Corleone had been doled out driving and security obligation for his dad when Paulie Gatto, the Ware's typical protector, had phoned in debilitated. Fredo ends up being ineffective, bumbling with his weapon and unfit to shoot back. At the point when Sonny catches wind of the Ware being shot and Paulie's non-appearance, he arranges Clemenza to find Paulie and carry him to the Ware's home. Sollozzo steals Tom Hagen and convinces him to already offer Sonny the arrangement proposed to his dad.
While Tom is being delivered, Sollozzo gets word that the were has endured the endeavor on his life. He furiously advises Tom to convince Radiant to acknowledge his deal. Sonny won't think about it and issues a final proposal to the Tartaglias: turn over Sollozzo or face an extended, ridiculous and exorbitant gang war. Bear meld and on second thought send Sonny a Sicilian message as two new fish enveloped by Luca Brazzi's tactical armor, telling the Corleones that Luca Brazzi lays down with the fishes. Clemenza later takes Polly and one of the family's hired gunman Rocco Lampin for a crash into Manhattan. Furthermore, returning Clemenza has Pulley halted the vehicle in a distant region so he can pee. Rocco shoots Pulley dead. He and Clemenza leave Polly in the vehicle behind Michael, whom the other mafia families think about. A non-military personnel uninvolved in horde business visits his dad at a little private emergency clinic. He is stunned to see that as no one is watching him, and medical caretaker tells him that the men were slowing down medical clinic strategy. Also, we're told to leave by the police around 10 minutes before Mike's appearance. Understanding that his dad is again being set up to be killed, he calls Sonny for help, moves his dad to another room and goes outside to watch the entry. Michael enrolls help from Enzo the dough puncher, who has come to the clinic to pay his regards. Together they feign away Sollozzo's men as they drive by squad cars. Before long, seem bringing the degenerate Chief McCluskey, who violently punches Michael in the kike and breaks his jaw. When that's what Michael implies, Sollozzo paid McCluskey to set up his father. Hence then Hagen shows up with private criminal investigators authorized to convey weapons to safeguard on Corleone, and he takes the harmed Michael home. Sonny answers by having Bruno Tattaglia, the oldest child and under manager of where Philip Tattaglia, killed following the endeavor on the day breaks life at the medical clinic. Sollozzo demands a meeting with the Corleones, which Skipper McCluskey will go to as Alazzo's guardian. In any case, Michael volunteers to kill the two men during the gathering. Radiant and the other senior family individuals are entertained anyway. Michael persuades them that he is serious and that killing Sollozzo and McCluskey is to the family's advantage. Since Michael is viewed as a non-military personnel, he will not be viewed as a dubious envo. He is fair game. Michael likewise suggests that journalists that the Corleones have on their risk would savor the experience of distributing tales about a degenerate police skipper. Michael meets with Clemenza, who gets ready a little gun for him, covering the trigger and grasp with tape to forestall any finger impression proof. He trains Michael about the appropriate method for playing out the death. Furthermore, advises him to abandon the weapon. He likewise lets Michael know that the family were all extremely pleased with Michael for turning into a war legend during his administration in the Marines. Clemenza shows incredible certainty that Michael can play out the gig and lets him know it will all go flawlessly. The plan is to have the Corleones witnesses figure out the area of the gathering. Furthermore, plant the pistol before Michael, Sollozzo and McCluskey show up. Prior to the gathering in a little Italian eatery, McCluskey searches Michael for weapons and thinks that he is perfect. Following a couple of moments where Michael and Sollozzo chat in Italian, Michael pardons himself to go to the restroom, where he recovers the planted pistol. Getting back to the table, he lethally shoots Sollozzo. Then, at that point, McCluskey Michael is shipped off conceal in Sicily, while the Corleone family gets ready for hard and fast fighting with the five families who are joined against the Corleones, as well as an overall clampdown on the horde by the police and government. Bondin Vito gets back from the emergency clinic. He is troubled to discover that it was Michael who killed Sollozzo and McCluskey. In the meantime, Connie and Carlo's marriage is breaking down. They contend openly over Carlo's thought treachery and his possessive conduct toward Connie by Italian practice. No one, not so much as a high-positioning mafia where like Connie's father, can mediate in a wedded couple's individual questions, regardless of whether they include treachery, cash or homegrown maltreatment. One day Sonny sees an injury all over. What's more, she lets him know that Carlo hit her after she inquired as to whether he was having an undertaking. Sonny finds and seriously whips Carlo Rizzi in a swarmed road for abusing the pregnant Connie and takes steps to kill Carlo, assuming he at any point mishandles Connie again. A furious Carlo answers by plotting with Don Tattaglia and where Emilio Barzini, the Corleone's central opponents, to have Sonny killed later.